Hello and welcome back to another tutorial on jsPsych. Today we are going to be learning how to save our data on Dropbox. So we're going to use the Dropbox API for JavaScript so that we can connect to Dropbox with our experiment. But first, let's look at our experiment just to see how the data is structured. Thing looks okay. We have our ID. It looks a little bit strange because 2020, we need the underscore here to make sure that we can separate the date from the ID. So we have to add the underscore. And let's refresh. Now we have the underscore. So now we can get to saving our file in a CSV format using Dropbox. So first we have to download the API. We can do that with the terminal. We have the npm package. So let's move to the directory of our project. So now we have project. So npm install -save. We need to install Dropbox. Okay, now that's done. We need to install another one called notefetch. Notefetch is it's a program that allows you to communicate with the server. So it allows you to communicate and save data, post data, get data. So we need that installed. For now, we are going to install other packages as we go through this tutorial, but for now, let's just have this on our, let's just have this installed. If you want to check, notefetch is installed, Dropbox is installed, so we're good to go. The next thing you might want to do is to create wide utils. Let's move utils out because this is in the front end. We want to separate backend scripts from front end scripts. So let's create another script called utils instead in our experiment folder. I'm going to move instead of copy. And we have .csv here. So let's get let's change this to utils. So we have our main front end script inside source. And so for the scripts for the utils.js in scripts folder, we want to change it and rename to something like my modules, because we're going to create a function that allows you to save your Dropbox, save your files in the Dropbox. I'm going to call them my mods. Or you can call it modules or mods, whatever. And then we are going to go to Dropbox. And if you haven't created a Dropbox account, you can create one. And if you have already done so, please go to dropbox.com/developers. And you'll see an app console. Please click that. And this is where we are going to create the folder for us to store our experimental files. So I'm going to create an app. So we're going to use the Dropbox API. We just want the access to the folder itself, but not full Dropbox, because maybe if you have security issues, they might be able to access the entire Dropbox. So I'm going to call it jsPsych tutorial. You can name it whatever you want, maybe as the same name as the project that you're working on. So what we need is the access token. So by generating access token, you'll be able to manage the make API calls from your own account without going through the authorization flows. But this thing, it's a sort of a secret key that you should only know. So don't share this with anyone. So that's why we have to create a backend because we don't want this to be shared with other people. So we're going to create a new file inside here called .env. So this is where we're going to store our environment variables. So this won't be, these are variables that are outside of our entire script. I'm going to call it Dropbox access token. You can paste it there. That is fine. So this is in the environment. And we have to access the environment from our entire app. So we need another package called .env. .env. So what this does is to allow you to look into your environment variables. So if you want to know what it's in the environment variables, I will show you what they are. So we can first create the container for Dropbox. We're going to call it Dropbox. I'm going to require Dropbox dot capital Dropbox. So we're going to get the Dropbox container, and we're going to get fetch. Remember that fetch allows you to communicate with if interacting with an API such as Dropbox to retrieve data. So we're going to require node-fetch. So so we have all our functions ready. Our all imported modules. Sorry. So right now we can create. This should be in. Sorry, this should be in a new script called my mods. Sorry. And we have to require on top .env.config. We have to get the configuration options for .config so we can access all our environment variables. So right now, just to show you what the process environment looks like, or what the environment variables look like, I'm going to copy the .environment here, and instead of logging this, I'm also going to add console.log process.env just to show you how environment variables look like and what they contain. So I'm going to run node app.js. So right now you see all these environment variables. What we're looking for is the Dropbox access token. So we have it here because we already tell it that this is an environment variable. So we should be able to see that in our environment list of environment variables. Okay, now that we know what's working and how this thing works, we have to get this environment variable out from the entire process into our script, our backend. So we can start to create the script for, or the function to create our Dropbox. Yeah, our Dropbox function to save our files. So dbx equals Dropbox new Dropbox. So this thing has an access token. So this new Dropbox function can be retrieved from here. So we need to create a Dropbox object and pass the access token for the account we want to link. And so we want to link that to the access token that was generated for that project or the app. So we can get it from process. Remember that we did console of the process. So environment, we want to get the Dropbox access token, which is the variable here. And then we want to fetch. So now we have a Dropbox object that contains our access token. Now we want to create a function, save Dropbox. So we want to save the contents. And one had to give it a file name. So we have our Dropbox files, upload. So we want to upload those files into Dropbox. And this should be path to that Dropbox folder plus file name and contents should be content. So we have our first script over here. And then we can use this function and put it into our main app. But before that, we have to export we have to export this module because it's now a function. We have to export them as a module. So exporting them as like a package. So in exports, there are a list of items or objects. The names of the object should be the Dropbox function that we want to export. So we have our function created. The next thing we have to do is we can remove require.env first. We don't need it over there because we have put it inside mod.js. So right now we have to import my.mod.js into your app. So we can comma, we can append my mods equals require dot slash scripts slash mymods.js. And then we need to import body parser so that we're able to pass all the stuff inside the app and communicate. Body parser equals require think we have that in. I think we have that in our node modules, body parser. Yeah, it looks like we have it. And then now that we have our modules imported, we can save to Dropbox. YouTube my mods dot save Dropbox, so we can import the modules into our app. So static, where we have to use app.use body parser so that we can retrieve the data. So it's net one line of code in the static middleware. So we need a new routing system here to download the file. So this routing system is to show the index of your landing page. We need another one to post the data into the server. So we're not going to retrieve, but we're going to post. So it's post / experiment data dash data, comma, it's a function request response. So normally it has the request response type of code for posting. So you request and you have to respond to that. So first thing we have to do is to retrieve the data. So it comes from request.body. We have request.body. So I explained to you where we get the data from. And then something's not right. And then we have to save the data, and then that's it. So retrieve the data and save the data. But the thing is, you can only retrieve in the JSON format. So we first have to convert this into CSV. So we have to convert JSON to CSV. So we need to create a function that maybe it's JSON to CSV. And then data. So we need to do something like that. So we have to create this function, which itself is another module or another function. So it's going to be long, and I'm just going to create the function first. So it's an object array. So we have to pass the object array. What I'm going to do is to copy and paste from a script that I've already got from the internet and put it over here so that we can skip this part because it's fairly long to explain what's going on inside here. So just the gist of it, we have this, it's just turning this into commas and separating the IDs here from the rows and putting them into rows and columns. So that's what the script is doing. So I'm gonna pause here for a while so you can copy down the code. It should also be in GitHub when I upload this tutorial online and upload the files to GitHub. So you can get from GitHub if you want, or you can copy from here. Okay, so let me continue. So once you have this function, you will also want to export this function as a module exports. And we also have to import this function into our app. So right now we have the data here. So we can save the data. We have already converted the data. Now we can get to saving the data. But before that, we need to get the file name. So get file name, because we don't have it set up yet. From our data, we need to get it from our data.csv. So it should correspond to the first row or second row. The first row are the headers, so second row. And the tag should be id.date. So we need to get it from there. So what we need to do is to split our data into rows and columns. So we need to split, and we need to split by rows. So it is a new line. So CSV actually a comma separated values or comma delimited file. So it is split by rows. And then get the ID, date, index. So we want to know which column. So we get a row. The first row are the headers. We split them by comma so that we get each comma is a column. So we want to get an index of ID underscore date. Just to make sure, ID underscore date. Yes, so now we have the column number. We can get the ID underscore date. So we can get it from the first row. And we have to split them, separated by column. And then we want the value of we want to get the column number. So the index. So this should return us the ID underscore date, including this will return us with, this is going to be like that. But the thing is, it will also have it's going to be like, let me show you. It's going to be double column. So that's a problem. So we have to remove the extra columns so that it will be just the ID underscore date. So ID underscore date, we need to replace the string. We need to search for, we have to put this put this slash and then the quotes to let JavaScript know that we are actually searching for the quote. If not, it's going to tell you replace a string inside that, but we don't want that. So slash quote slash global. So we want any instances of this double quotes in the string. So we want to replace the string that we want, and the value that we want to replace is nothing. So right now we have our file name ready, our ID underscore date. We want to save as a file name, ID underscore date plus .csv. So this thing will give something like 1345 underscore 20204. And today's date is 14.csv. It's going to be just like that without a quote. We don't need a quote. Now that we have our file name, we can save Dropbox. And we have the contents, data, underscore CSV, and the file name is file name. That is for the server side. So we need to also communicate from our entire script so that it knows that we have to post this data back to the backend. So I'm gonna leave some space here so that we can write a code. So it's $.ajax. So it allows us to communicate with the server at the back. The type we want, it's post. So we want to post data. And the URL that we want to post to should be /experiment data, sorry. Should be the same here. So we're actually posting with this. It should correspond. And the data that we want to post is a JSON.stringify. I have no idea why, but we can only post the data in this way. jsPsych.data.get. We want the values. And the content type is an application /JSON. So once that is done, you can create a function .done function. So when it's done and it's okay, finish, we can create an alert. Completed. Or normally we'll want to create tell them that they're finished location. We want to create a finish page. Finish. Let's toggle it for now. Just say we have completed. Tell them that you have completed the experiment. And your data has been saved. Semicolon. So when it's done, we should return with this alert. So it's going to be a pop-up window. If not, .fail function. What happens if it fails? Oops. If it fails, alert. Problem occurred while writing data to Dropbox. Please contact the experimenter. So data will, just put it below, data will be saved to your computer. Please contact the experimenter. So in case where we cannot save our data, we are going to save our data manually. So this is where it's going to come in. The original file that we created, I mean the CSV download that the original download CSV function that we created. So we have a backup plan. OCC already. So let's create an alert. No, let's not create an alert. So you create an alert telling them your data will be saved, and then it's going to download CSV file into their own computer so that they can send you the data if they cannot connect to Dropbox. So we have our Ajax. Oh, we don't need data because we get jsPsych.data. Okay, looks like everything is working fine. All the code looks good. Okay, let's test. I'm going to run node app.js. Unexpected token, mod.js line 6. Line 6, comma, and I should be running currently right now. So listening to port 3000. Let's connect to localhost 3000. Okay, looks like something's missing here. It's not telling me what's happening. Failed to load resource, uncaught reference. In experiment 190, let's see. Why is that so? Experiment 190. So this $sign is not recognizable, which means we have to jsPsych.js. So we have to download the jQuery, yes. So we need jQuery. So I think so we need jQuery. So I'm going to pause the video and download jQuery. So we need to download the jQuery script. So we can download it over here, code.jQuery.com/jQuery. So you can copy this entire script, put it here, or you can just download from over here. So you have the entire jQuery 3.4.1, which is the latest version, I think. So it's whole thing, copy. So copy into your plugins, new HTML file. So you can call it jQuery, query.min.js. Oops, not HTML, so sorry, supposed to be a JavaScript. So jQuery.m.js, generate files function appear edited. Okay, so we have our jQuery file in index. We can remove this and use this instead. So it's in the same folder as your jsPsych, so just have to rename to jQuery.min.js. So it's a minified file of jQuery.js. So this should get it running. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Problem occurred while writing data to Dropbox. Data will be saved to your computer. So contact experimenter. So there's a problem with writing my data. Let's see why it's the case. So we have nothing here. So let's see. This is done. This is correct. Environment variable, just put it aside. We have app.js, we have index. They should be fine. It's where we are unable to post the data. So that's the problem. Let's maybe pause a little bit and see what's going on. Hi, so I'm back. So sorry for the delay. I figured out the error here. So there are two errors here. First one is the ID date, because it includes these quotations. So we have to add another quotations to make it that way, so that it gets the quotation index ID instead of index ID. So that's the first one. And the second one is over here where I have forgotten to add the Dropbox access token. And this should allow us to run our app properly. Okay, so let me test that out. Node.js, so it's listening to this port. So it seems like it's nothing's going on, and nothing's going on here. And let me check. I have my JSI tutorial and I have my app over here. I have the CSV saved. All right, so that's the end of today's tutorial. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.